Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me just say for the record first, the NYPD does a truly outstanding job in fighting counterterrorism. They have over 1,000 police officers dedicated to this. There have been a number of attacks against New York. At least 14 have been stopped because of the cooperation with the FBI, JTTF, all the local police agencies in New York. And I believe the relationship with the CIA has been extremely helpful and beneficial. I think it's been extremely irresponsible by the press to be some of the allegations they've made. Just a few I'd like to put here in the record. Associated Press, General Petraeus, last August 23rd, quote, "With CIA help, NYPD moves covertly in Muslim areas." The New York City Police Department is targeting ethnic communities in many ways would run afoul of civil liberties practiced by the Federal Government, and Associated Press investigation has found. These operations have benefited from unprecedented help from the CIA, a partnership that has blurred the line between foreign and domestic spying. We have January 27th from the Associated Press. The CIA's Inspector General completed an investigation into the relationship between the CIA and the NYPD after AP articles showed the police collaborated with the Federal Spy Agency to set up operations to scrutinize Muslim communities, and they have helped build programs that have angered Muslim communities. We actually have members of Congress sending around a Dear Colleague letter and asking the Attorney General to carry out an investigation, saying we are deeply troubled by AP press reports that the New York Police Department, with the help of the CIA, has been collecting information on the Muslim community in New York City and surrounding areas. This would be a violation of civil rights and trigger a number of Federal laws. They then call on the Attorney General, saying that the NYPD, with the cooperation of the CIA, has engaged in efforts to collect information on the Muslim community in New York City and other jurisdictions. Recently, the New York Times says the CIA and the NYPD have an unusual and highly troubling relationship. I think it's disgraceful that the media has carried out these false reports for a number of reasons. The CIA can defend itself, the NYPD can defend itself, but these lies cause such trouble and such confusion and consternation in the Muslim American community. It makes it harder for the NYPD to carry out its job. I would wish members of Congress, before they just talk about press reports, would look into the facts behind them. And I just, again, want to go over with you, General Petraeus. The CIA Inspector General said there was no violation of the National Security Act as far as the relationship between the NYPD and the CIA. Is that correct?
That's correct. And if I could point out, Congressman, we should remember that the IG of the CIA is an independent individual. He is the only person in the agency beyond the director who is nominated by the President and confirmed by the Senate.
And he found out there was no violation of the National Security Act. He also concluded, did he also conclude that there was no executive order violated by the CIA or the NYPD?
That's correct.
Is there any evidence at all, the Inspector General find any evidence at all that the CIA carried out or engaged in any spying or any type of surveillance or clandestine activity in New York on its own or with the NYPD?
No.
Was there any evidence the NYPD in any way violated or abused its relationship with the CIA?
No.
I think it's very important that this be made known again and again, because this is causing, again, real problems within the Muslim American community. It's allowing politicians in New York and other places to take cheap shots at the NYPD, which, again, they can handle themselves, but it makes it very difficult for them to carry out their job. We have been attacked twice. I lost over 150 people in my district alone. I know what the NYPD is doing, and there's always room for legitimate criticism. Obviously, there's been some friction over the years with the NYPD and the FBI. That is legitimate, to me, friction that is involved when you have two leading law enforcement agencies. But to be spreading around lies of spying, clandestine activity, and also acting as if this is something unusual, to me is disgraceful. And I know the AP reporters are up for a Pulitzer Prize. I know that the New York Times is engaged in a campaign against the NYPD. But I think we should realize these are real threats. There are always ongoing threats. And as far as I can tell, I would hope that the CIA does nothing at all to diminish its level of support for the NYPD.
In fact, I've went up to New York, Congressman, to see things for myself. And for what it's worth, my assessment is, and met with the Commissioner, met with other law enforcement personnel, my impression is that there is a very good and very productive and very proper relationship between the various law enforcement agencies, that includes the FBI, by the way, and then also with elements of the intelligence community that appropriately provide in a proper way products of their intelligence collection and analysis.
Thank you, General. Mr. Chairman, I think it is important, again, for this to be on the record, the level of distortion that's been out here. And the AP, for instance, when they wrote the story about what they disclosed, was totally untrue about spying by the CIA in New York, they call on the they announced the fact, or they reported the fact, that the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, was also calling for an investigation, never mentioning at all. They referred to them as a Muslim American civil rights organization, never ever mentioning that CAIR was named as an unindicted co-conspirator in the most major terrorist funding case in this country, and that the FBI has cut off its contact with CAIR. So that's the type of bias and discrimination which I think we as a committee should stand up and speak out against, in which the members of this committee would line up with those who are doing the job and not ally themselves with cheap press reports. I yield back.